So there you go, Toronto. The weather for the rest of this week looks perfect for a picnic with family. And that is your weekly weather roundup with Cristina Gonzalez from Channel 13 News. And now, back to the studio with Veronica Singh and Samantha Pepito for today's top stories.
Good morning, my name is Veronica Singh, and today's leading story is about a disease that has been spreading rapidly and is taking the lives of many North American citizens.
That's right. There have been 560,180 deaths in just Canada and the U.S. This fatal disease all started with the chemical spill on the St. Lawrence River back in July.
There have been many chemical spills that have happened in the past, like the Sandoz chemical spill in the Ryan River in 1986, and the Kingston fossil plant slurry spill in 2008, but nothing quite like this.
The chemical N-nitrous soda and papilamine has been leaked into the St. Lawrence River and has made its way into the Great Lakes, Canada's main source of fresh water.
Canada's largest distribution company, Canada Water Supply Limited, is being accused and investigated due to their history of lack of proper water filtration.
Not only that, it is highly important that the government must develop a process and development of local safeguard procedures and restrictions on how chemicals are transferred safely. They need to ensure all chemicals are stored properly and with adequate ventilation to prevent any leakage of hazardous vapors, and that all employees are trained professionals.
Evidently, the employees at Canada Water Supply Limited were not properly trained to screen the water, which led to the chemical-filled water to be distributed to many homeowners across North America.
We now go straight to the lab, where chemist Dr. Waka Flocka Dopenschmerz and Dr. Poe will talk a bit more with us about the severity of the hazardous chemical that caused this epidemic. Nina, how does it look at your end?
So far so good, Samantha. Right now I'm standing outside of the Canada's Water Supply Company, where this problem started. It's always been a lackadaisical company, but however, no one really expected this from them. Right now I am with Dr. Waka Flocka Pinstone and Dr. Poe, and they will be talking more about how this problem started. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. George. So Dr. Waka Flocka Dopenschmerz will be with us in just a moment. She's just stepped out.
So Dr. Poe, so what else can you tell us about this?
So basically, me and my partner, Dr. Waka Flocka Dopenschmerz, have been going over extensive data, and we've kind of condensed it to, being, we found where the water, the chemical spill has happened. So we have performed numerous tests on the water being distributed from CWSL, which is Canada Water Supply Limited. Now, and we interviewed their employees in order to get to the bottom of what's been happening.
Okay, well, Dr. Poe, we all want to know whether this epidemic has happened because of the carelessness of the employees or for any other reason.
Well, from what we've been able to gather, this looks like a job of chemical waste that was dumped into the water, so the St. Lawrence River. However, the employees didn't screen the water properly. Now, had there been any chemicals in there, it wouldn't have been a problem because the water would be screened properly, but they didn't. So their screening machine would have picked up any chemical traces, and then we could have dealt with it after that, but they didn't perform their jobs.
So what we really want to know is there a cure to clean the water?
Now that we, at this moment, we have been contemplating what to do. So after we ran certain tests to see if we could add chlorine to purify the water, we've been able to get the water back to a 91% ratio of fresh water, and there's still a 9% remaining amount of N-nitrous soda and propylamine, which is what caused the negative effects on the humans from consuming the water.
Okay. Training is Dr. Waka Flocka Jones.
Actually, it's Dr. Waka Flocka Dopenschmerz.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was just talking to Dr. Poe about the chemical that has been identified as the N-nitrous soda.
N-nitrous soda and propylamine.
Okay, N-nitrous soda and propylamine, which was inside the water that was ingested. Are there any side effects of the chemicals on animals?
Well, there's been many car cases found of animals ranging from fish, birds, and even mammals, like moose and beavers. This is most likely caused by the chemical that has been digested, which led to immediate death. This chemical has also affected the habitat.
Well, is there a way to rehabilitate their habitat?
Currently, nothing can be said. However, we are working on a way to restore animal habitats back to what they originally were, which is to remove the animals from the area.
Okay, now that's another question. Many individuals, for you and Dr. Poe, are there any cures for humans that have consumed the chemical, or is there no hope for them?
Well, I actually want to show you what happens when this chemical comes in contact with human blood. Come here, Dr. Poe. Okay. So this is a sample of blood, healthy human blood, and this is the sample of the N-nitrosodide and propylamine.
And we're gonna watch what happens when you put them together.
When you put them together. See? See what happens?
It's bubbling.
This is what happens internally, inside of your body, when you consume this chemical-filled water. This chemical is highly toxic and dangerous for the individuals just by touching it. And in this case, many have ingested it. So just imagine what this chemical is doing to your body.
So we're trying to lessen the effects of the chemical by heating up the chemical, and we've already tried that. But after heating it up, the chemical is able to oxide or even degrade. However, it doesn't always work. So we're trying to lessen the effects of the chemical by heating up the chemical, the N-nitrosodide and propylamine. After heating it up, the chemical is able to oxide and degrade sometimes. However, it doesn't always work, and sometimes we're left with residue from the chemical or even chemical vapors, which is very toxic to us as the chemists, because if we inhale it, then it's very harmful.
We are trying to get the chemical-infected water to boil to a certain temperature that will get rid of the chemical, but however will not evaporate the water.
So currently we can't really say anything for those who have been affected. However, we're trying our best to find a solution.
We've currently talked to the law enforcement, and they have blocked off the site of the chemical spill, which is at the St. Lawrence River, and have prohibited any individual near the chemical spill site within a 100-kilometer radius. This is because the chemical is very dangerous if inhaled.
Oh, so how can we identify who has been affected by the chemical?
So the chemical causes very obvious side effects on the individual that has come in contact with the chemical. Some side effects are like discolored skin tone, dilated yellow pupils, loss of basic motor skills, and wounds on the top of the skin, which is due to the chemical eating away from the skin and the muscle and then the skin layers.
Well, we will make sure to heed this warning and stay away from the chemical spill site. And I thank you. I thank both of the doctors for taking out time and explaining this to us. And
what the hell is that noise?
I think it's coming from the storage door. You want to go check? Maybe it's
let's check it out.
I think that chemical that was in there is about to stay.
I know. Okay. Let's go. What?